Okay, let's be real. We all send a ton of emails every single day, but how many of them actually get the results we're looking for? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the science and strategy behind writing professional emails that don't just get opened, they get things done.
I mean, we fire off emails all the time. It feels like second nature, right? But here's the catch. There's a huge difference between just sending an email and crafting an effective one. And it's funny, because experts from Harvard's writing program have looked into this and found that it's way more complex than we give it credit for.
And this quote, man, it just nails it. You got to assume the person on the other end is totally swamped, distracted, and juggling a dozen other things. Your email isn't just a message, it's a fight for a few precious seconds of their attention. And that's exactly why every single word has to be strategic.
So, where does that strategy start? Well, it's before you even touch the keyboard. The best emails aren't just written, they're planned out. This first step is all about taking a moment for that strategic pause.
So the first thing you have to ask yourself, and this is a big one, is should this even be an email? It's a really powerful tool for sure, but it's not always the right one for the job. Okay, so this is where you really got to be intentional. So take a look here. On the left, email is your best friend for things like creating a paper trail or sending info across time zones. But if what you're talking about falls into that column on the right, if it's complex, sensitive, or really urgent, picking up the phone or just scheduling a quick chat isn't just better, it can literally prevent a major miscommunication.
All right, so you've decided email's the way to go. Now what? Well, now you need a mission statement for your message. Before you write a single word, just answer this question. What is the one thing you need your reader to do or know? Seriously, nailing this down is the secret to an email that gets straight to the point and doesn't just ramble on.
Okay, prep work is done. Now let's get into the main event and see how this all comes together. The actual construction of an email that really makes an impact. We're talking about the anatomy of a perfect message.
So, every really great email is built on these 4 pillars. Think of them as the foundation. A clear subject line, a respectful salutation, a well-structured body, and a professional sign-off. If you get these 4 things right, you're already way ahead of the game.
Now, out of all of these, this one right here, it's a total game changer. It's called the inverted pyramid. It's a cool technique they borrow from journalism where you basically lead with the conclusion. So instead of building up to your point, you state it right away. Think the deadline is moved to Friday, then you can explain why. You have to assume your reader is going to get interrupted, so you've got to give them the most vital info right up front.
First impressions count for everything, right? Well, your salutation? That's your email's handshake. A simple "Dear Professor Smith" or "Hello, Miss McMahon" immediately sets a professional tone. But starting with just "Hey" or, and this is the worst, no salutation at all, that can just immediately scream, "I don't respect you or this conversation."
Listen, giant walls of text are absolute poison to a busy reader. Just poison. You can fight this by keeping your paragraphs super short, like 1 or 2 sentences. Or even better, if you have a list of things, use bullet points. This isn't just about looking nice. It's a practical courtesy that makes your message so much easier to digest, especially when, let's be honest, most people are just scanning this on a tiny phone screen.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about something a little trickier, and that's tone. When you don't have body language or the sound of your voice, suddenly your words have to do all the heavy lifting. This is where miscommunications can happen so easily, so mastering this human element is absolutely critical.
I absolutely love this metaphor from a student-led explainer. Just think of any angry or aggressive language as hot sauce. You pour it on and it just ruins the whole message, right? Nobody wants that. So if you wouldn't say it to someone's face, you definitely shouldn't be writing it in an email.
Okay, check this out. This is the perfect example of tone in action. The message on the left is vague, it's demanding, and it puts all the work on the person receiving it. But the one on the right? It shows respect for their time by giving context and making a clear, polite request. Which one do you think is going to get a helpful response? And which one is probably going to get ignored or even deleted?
So it really all boils down to this one simple golden rule. When in doubt, just be more formal. It's so much easier to mirror their tone and get more casual later if they do, but you can never, ever take back a first impression that was too casual.
All right, you've written what you think is a great email. You're ready to go. But wait, don't hit send just yet. This final step, the pre-send checklist, is your last line of defense against some really embarrassing and totally avoidable mistakes.
So here's a super quick way to make your email instantly better. Hunt down all the filler words. Words like actually, basically, and fundamentally hardly ever add any real value. If you cut them out, your writing gets tighter and more direct, and you don't even change the meaning.
And last but not least, run this quick 3-point scan. It'll save you, trust me. First, proofread it. Typos just look sloppy. Second, read the whole thing out loud. Your ears will catch awkward sentences that your eyes miss, and it's the best way to double-check your tone. And number 3, the one we've all done, I know I have, if you said you attached something, for the love of all that is holy, please double-check that it's actually there.
So let's wrap this up with a really powerful reminder from the folks at Harvard. Unlike a conversation that just fades away, an email is permanent. People can reread it, they can analyze your wording, and they can even forward it to other people without you even knowing.
So at the end of the day, every single email you send is a little piece of you out there in the world. It reflects your professionalism, your attention to detail, and your respect for other people's time. It's a part of your brand. So you have to ask yourself, what story are my emails telling about me?